So Jack is one of my one-to-one coaching clients that's been through the process from start to finish. I mean, he's just about ready to launch his software now, and he's going to show you the software, show you what it does. And Jack is 100% non-coding, AI-based founder. So if you think you can't build software as a service using AI and just natural language, well, Jack's going to show you that you absolutely can.
Yeah, 100%. Like I've not got any experience in web development, app development, any sort of coding. This journey's kind of proven to me that you don't need to know anything about coding to kind of create a web app, a mobile app, and have your own SaaS.
I'm hoping somebody watching this will go, well, I can't build SaaS because I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And then, oh, Jack don't know how to code. And look what he's built. So, yeah, if you want to just talk us through it, Jack.
Obviously, started off with trying to think of an idea, did all the kind of rating that idea in terms of niche and is it a problem that or a pain point that's needed, and I came up with Verify Creator, which is essentially an AI powered platform that enables brands to search a known creator or unknown creator to them and establish whether that is worth working with that creator to help promote their business or brand.
Awesome.
This is entirely built via AI.
Yeah,
Kind of along the way, I've developed a good AI stack. So I started off with obviously like everyone, ChatGPT, developing uh like the niche idea and the prompts to put into Replit, which is the platform that we have used to build this, which is again another AI. And then obviously use the Replit agent itself, which is powered by Claude to not only develop the app and develop the SaaS, but also look into doing competitor analyses, looking for gaps in my idea and my thinking, to eventually move on to Claude Code, which is a little bit more complicated than Replit, but again, it's part of my entire stack. Um, and yeah, and it's kind of developed this. So this is the landing page when it launches. Again, here is kind of a step-by-step guide on how to use the platform. These will be pictures or animated GIFs, which is here. So essentially, this whole landing page, as per Matt's kind of guidance, is at some point someone's going to stop on there and convert to a free trial. I don't know where that will be, but it will convert to a free trial. And additionally, whilst I've been building this, I have created a coming soon page, which is live at verifycreator.com.
awesome. So if you're interested in jumping, if you're interested in trying Jack's software, or if you've got needs to find and detect fake influencers or fake content creators, then jump on. You can reserve your spot here.
Just click on here to view um, their metrics. So you've got their engagement, their trust score, which is entirely powered by AI. This is the overview. So then you go on to analytics. Again, this is just a trust score. What's factored into the trust score? Summary, engagement, audience demographics. So, the age, the gender, top locations, activity level, um, performance, intelligence. Is it a creator that's going to be at risk to your brand if you work with them? Obviously, Sky Sports is very low. So the idea being is you add them to your shortlist, and then you can go to the communication hub and you can do an email campaign. I've got the auto outreach, so you can generate it all with our template, and then you can do A/B testing of your subject line, and then
Yeah.
you can do auto follow-ups if you want to. So you can do one on 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, or you can change that, and you can obviously put in the times that you want to send it. Inbox, any emails you received, your planned follow-ups, and then here's your negotiate. So you click on here to do a rate negotiation, and you can set up your auto negotiator.
So what I should have probably said up front is one of the best methods to promote anything online is to get it in front of people's audiences. So content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them, they've built up an audience over time of hopefully your target market of whatever you're selling. But one of the problems with it is oftentimes they've got a fake audience because they bought it or whatever. It's not a very good audience. And what Jack's tool is doing is ensuring that you don't waste money on paying the wrong influencer to advertise to the wrong audience, which means you should get a better ROI. And he's actually built in an auto negotiator for you to negotiate terms and prices with these influencers and creators. And this is all done with AI, like no
All with
code
AI.
or with
No.
AI.
No, I can honestly, hand on heart, say that I have not inputted any line of code myself. I've
No, no.
never.
And to be fair, Jack, you've had access to devs on my coaching program, and they've not altered a line of code of either.
No, no,
No, so
no.
like literally, this is 100% built with AI, natural language, no code. We've
Yeah.
seen this ourselves. This has been a big problem for us in our businesses because this is, like I say, one of the best methods to promote things online. But it's also these fake influencers, these fake content creators, they know that. So they generate these fake audiences with the intention of getting brand partnerships. And
Hmm.
this tool enables you to go, haha, you're not getting me, you know?
Yeah, exactly
So
that. And you can also generate a the contract for you to send over to them as well. Again, it's PDF downloadable, and then you can plan your campaign. So you find your creator that you want to work with, and then you plan the campaign and you launch it. And this is how you then track your ROI yourself. So you would have to integrate whatever platform you're using, whether that be a Shopify or a WooCommerce or whatever. And then obviously Google Analytics, whatever you want to track it with. You go into the integration hub, you connect them here. There's nothing connected at the minute, but you can track the campaign, you can track the sales, you can track the performance, and you can get some insights into your campaign, whether it's whether you need to adjust how much you're paying, how often you're posting, or if it's just it's not working at all.
that's a little insight into what Jack's built. In my opinion, you would be looking at a two-man dev team taking maybe 3 years to build something like that, and it would cost 300 grand, 350 grand. And I know that firsthand by building stuff like that. And Jack, how long has it taken you? A couple of months doing a few hours a
Yeah,
day?
I'd say once I jumped into Replit, it's probably been 2 months, and we're
Two
and
months.
I've said we're not I'm 95% there, so I'd probably say another week or two, and it'll be out there in the world.
What was your situation before this course? Were you stuck in a job, looking for a side hustle, or just curious, or what?
So I've notoriously missed out on the bubbles in the past. I kind of missed out on the whole the drop shipping and the Amazon FBA stuff, and I got to the party late. I did a little bit of drop shipping, got a bit of a taste for having my own business, and loved it, to be fair. And then obviously COVID came and kind of wiped a lot of stuff out. And I missed the Bitcoin bubble. I was probably a year or two late for that, and I kind of I've been looking at AI, and then obviously came across what you was saying on Facebook. I was like, no, I'm not missing this gold rush. I'm jumping into this head first kind of thing, and kind of wanted to do it. And I've always wanted that, yes, side hustle to then become hopefully full-time business. And I don't want to stop at just one. I envisage myself having a collective of SASs, two, three, maybe even four. Um, Hopefully by the end of next year. So
SaaS empire. But
yeah,
the thing
and
is,
I
if you
think
can spin something like this up in 2 months, and it's
yeah,
it's as good as, if not better, than all of the existing competition that might have been here 10 years or whatever, and spent millions of dollars developing those things and like tweaking them and iterating them. And then you've built something in 2 months. Why not have two,
exactly.
three, four if you want to, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing, once this is kind of launched, and hopefully, you still got to focus on getting the traction for the marketing side of it, but it's relatively passive once it's got users on there, and then get another one. So, and build another one and build another one. So
yeah.
that's the plan. Yeah.
So when you had your first idea, in fact, this wasn't your first idea, was it? Didn't you build like
Uh,
two or three things before this one?
so yeah, my what I thought was the kind of slam dunk was something to do with online forms, and checking you know for kind of like abusive online forms, and this was kind
Yeah.
of my probably third idea.
You
Definitely was.
actually built that bot one though, didn't
Yeah,
you? You know that you
yeah,
Okay, so what made you decide to come on this journey and pay me to coach and mentor you through the process? What was it that made you think, yeah, I'm gonna do this with Matt?
Well, obviously you've got a proven track record yourself, and I've kind of had you on Facebook for a long period of time back into the drop shipping days, and I kind of knew that you're not lying about what you can do. Um, Experience with SASs as well, and I've never done a SAS, so it was kind of I needed that guidance as to what to do, how to kind of pivot when needed, a fresh set of eyes over ideas and stuff like that. Because it's very easy to just kind of get into that one tunnel vision of, oh, this is great, and then someone look at it and go, what are you doing? That's crap. So you kind of like, although you've never been that blunt or brutal, but like you do need people to look at things and kind of guide you around the things that you don't necessarily know. Because like I said, I've never been there and done that, and trusted you, proven track record, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Nice. Okay, so when you got stuck or felt overwhelmed, what helped push you through?
Get to a point where this isn't working, you stop, you're overwhelmed, have a conversation with like-minded people, which is why it was really helpful having you on around, and also other one-to-ones, because I don't know if people know, but we're in like a WhatsApp group where we can just bounce ideas off each other. Um, and then going back to the problem, going back to or just having a break and then looking at a fresh pair of eyes. Because although you're not coding, it can get quite overwhelming where you've been working on the same problem for 2, 3 hours. You're like, this isn't working. It's not. AI is good and it gets you there a lot quicker, but you still need to remember that it is only as good as what you tell it. So,
Yeah. Fair. So, walk me through the moment you saw your idea actually working for the first time. How did that feel? So, when you've gone from just an idea to, oh, I'm clicking this and this actually works. Can you remember how it felt?
no, yeah, I can. I remember getting my partner in the room and we looked at her like profile. Oh my God, it was amazing. It actually worked, which was really cool. Um, And I think it was like a eureka moment where you look at, oh, you say this, say that, comes together. It's like, oh, it isn't just false. It does actually physically work, and it that's where the beauty of like the natural language comes into play with obviously working with your AI stack, whether that's Claude, ChatGPT, or whatever else you want to use, and then plugging in a few APIs, and it kind of all came together and went, well, this works. And don't get me wrong, it's broken a few times along the way, and you get frustrated because it breaks. But when you get it working, it is a good feeling because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this has actually got the potential now to be a business where it makes money and not only just makes money, but actually helps people save money as well.
So, which part that you thought would be impossible turned out to be surprisingly doable? Was there anything that you thought, I can't do that, and then you actually did it, and it,
I think it was just the kind of like getting the whole website is like you've got the landing page, the dashboard page, getting them all working and clicking through them, they all link together. That kind of stuff takes a long time to get working, and this got working in a matter of a day or two, where I'm going on different pages, and that was like once I realized how easy that was to do, that's when, well, nothing's impossible here. Like you can literally get it to do whatever you want it to do instantly. Once you put your initial plan into Replit and then you see it make that and then you ask it to do this and you suddenly realize, oh, it's made 2 pages. Suddenly you realize this is going to be pretty quick and not necessarily easy, but pretty quick. And you realize, oh, this I can make this into actual working software because it's so. Those that haven't used Replit, it's just so intuitive and it's like, boom, it throws it together and you're like, wow. So.
do you enjoy the build process?
I do. I do. I am probably guilty of, although I did say a minute ago where I try and stop at the start, I was very guilty of probably working on it way too much and it taking way too much focus of my life. But it's like, it's a very, like, it's a weird emotion, but you don't want to stop. You want to get it working. And it's like, it is crazy when you start seeing it in
Addictive.
front of you. Yeah, you see it in front of you, that's working, and you've got to open on another screen, and you've got your deployed URL, and you're like, wow, this is all, yeah, it's very addictive, very, very addictive. I actually showed the product to several competitors in the space
Yeah.
because my product is need to power my product. I need a data API for social media, and the top 5 competitors I showed it to because I needed their API, and not one of them called me out on the platform. Not one of them called me out on not knowing what I was talking about. I shared
So
a
you actually
screen.
shared screen
Yeah,
during
shared screen.
essentially a sales call type thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
none of them were like, none of them said, "Is this AI?" or like, "Have you built
Not
this on
one of
your
them.
own or anything?"
They were kind of all willing to work with me. Essentially, although I probably didn't pick the best API to power the platform initially, I picked the one that made the most sense in terms of price point. But I made sure I retained those relationships with the other ones, so if I do want to jump over to them as a data provider, I can do. And I even had a call with a company that didn't provide an API, but we spent, 45 minutes on the call going over my platform, and he gave me some advice onto what to look out for and what the space needs. And, that's why I've made sure that we have the ability to have the outreach and the communications hub in there, because his advice was that, yes, you can find these creators, but you can't contact them because nobody answers a direct message. So I was like, okay, make sure I've got email on there. Which is
Yeah.
what, again, that drove me towards the certain data provider that, they had 220 million profiles with 70 million having an email. So that's why I went for that one over the others. But that was the thing that surprised me the most, was that I actually showed this platform, and that was relatively in its infancy, not how it looks now.
Yeah. I was like
I
week
showed,
two or something, wasn't it? Week two
yeah,
or something. I'm building it.
yeah. I showed them the platform, and not one of them called me out as BS or AI or anything like. It was okay, cool. So yeah.
I think some of them were under the impression you'd got like a 3, 4 man team and
Well,
been
yeah,
working on it
yeah.
years.
Yeah, I mean, some of them literally asked me the question, "How many people are on your team?" Now, I responded with three or four because I couldn't say it's just me, because then it was like, it might have
Yeah.
burst the bubble a little bit. But yeah, a lot of them were under the impression that I was a non-technical founder, and I had a dev team behind me to answer, or I could ask any dev questions to. And yeah, it was that was another moment when I realized, oh, this could actually be a product and something that can sell, because people in this space aren't calling me out, and they're
Well,
not
when
realizing.
people that are in that space for years that have built it the traditional way with human beings and that have spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions, building it, and then you pop on with your software you've knocked out in 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and you're able to convince them all that you're a part of that space, which is epic, and it really
yeah,
stands
and
a
like I say,
testament.
they're not. They're also not going to think it's cost relatively nothing. So when I was jumping on those calls to buy their data, they're not questioning. Oh, I've even got the funds to buy it. It's like, oh, we've got a platform that's cost millions, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
So
and
what?
another thing I should allude to as well, I actually got Replit itself. If I had any technical questions for these data providers, I got Replit to provide me an email for me to then send to the data providers, to make sure I was always kind of in the know, basically not coming across as I don't know what I'm on about. So that was really handy to not just use Replit for the building capabilities, but to use it for the external things that you might need it for as well. So, like you say, the competitor analysis, emailing data providers. It even helped me with there's a company called Bright Data, which I'm not using on the platform, but it helped me become compliant with their um their stuff as well. So if I ever wanted to use that further on down the line, or I ever needed it for another SaaS company that I'm going to hopefully do one day, I'm compliant on Bright Data.
I think that's what people don't realize. People think, oh, it's an AI agent that just codes, but actually, it's an AI agent as like an assistant, a business partner,
100%.
like a high level employee that you're bouncing off. It's like is everything.
Yeah.
So even if you're thinking, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, it probably can. The AI can probably help you do all of it.
In my head, ChatGPT, for all the want in the world, or Claude on its own as a separate app, all in the world, they don't know the app or the SaaS that you're building as well as Replit does. So you
Yeah.
can spend a long time asking ChatGPT, but Replit can do it straight off the bat because it's building it for you.
So how do you feel about the time and investment you made learning this skill?
Very, very, very pleased. Very well. If it was a scale of 1 to 10, 11. So
Amazing.
yeah,
So if your best friend said they wanted to build a SaaS but felt intimidated, what would you tell them about this process?
there's nothing to be intimidated about. Nothing at all. Anybody can do it as long as you've got the ability to type in natural language and you can come up with an idea. You can do it. And
Yeah.
even if your first idea isn't a knock out of the park, it's a good learning curve to then go on to your second idea.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't think there's anything to be worried about or be intimidated about at all, you know. And obviously having you there as well helps you nail on that idea a bit, you know, because you're more likely with someone like yourself around to get that first idea as a knockout of the park. Um, but there's absolutely nothing to be intimidated about. Anybody can do this.
Awesome.
And I've seen firsthand, you know, I've joined a lot of what's termed vibe coding groups on Facebook and stuff like that, and I've seen some of the apps that people are building, and they're not amazing, but people are building things, and you know, these people weren't building them 3, 4 months ago. Anybody can do it. If people are joining, obviously your group coaching,
Yeah.
just make sure you jump on the calls with Matt and everyone else because you know hive minds are, you know, they are really good and you can bounce ideas off each other. Sometimes if you just end up trying to do this on your own, I'm not saying you can't, but if you do it on your own, you can end up making mistakes or kind of that's when you might become intimidated or discouraged. And, you know, there's that path of, you know, from there to there isn't a straight line, it's up and down.
Yeah.
And having those like-minded people around you will benefit you a lot more in getting to where you want to get to, and probably a lot quicker than just trying to slug through it and do it on your own. So, like I said,
Yeah.
if you're doing the group calls, um, just
So
jump on them.
how do you feel about the launch? Are you excited to launch or excited to
I
start the
am.
marketing, or does it
I'm
scare
excited
you?
to. I'm excited to launch and then obviously dive into the marketing side of things and getting that first handful of users on there and hopefully seeing where it goes. By no means nothing to be easy, but you know, like you said, once you get one on there, you can get 10. Once you get 10, you get 100, and then hopefully get to 1,000, and then yeah, then we're happy days really. So I am excited to get working.
At that point, you've got a life-changing business for sure. You don't need 1,000 users to have a life-changing business, you know.
Uh, no, like I
Awesome.
say, hopefully once it's working and out there, happy days.
Well, you've done a great job, Jack. You've quite the journey to witness and be part of. I'm looking forward to seeing where you take it and where it evolves to, and it actually becoming a real business and not just an app. But to say you've got no technical background, really, you've got no code background, um, and you built this in your spare time whilst having a job
Yeah,
with relatively small amounts of money, and it's got cheaper because you've changed the tech stack over time, as have most of us. Um, it's epic, mate. It's amazing, amazing what you've done.
yeah, no, 100%. Like I say, you know, even if we hadn't changed the tech stacks and it was still, you know, still using Replit, the price of Replit costs versus a dev, you know, is nothing,
And
pennies.
it's yeah,
So yeah, it's like I say, it doesn't have to be something that overtakes takes over your life. Just and you, like I said, I've done this in my spare time, you know, maybe on a odd weekend or two, um, and this is what I've produced. So you know, if someone can deep dive into it and do it solid for a couple of weeks or a month, you're going to get far more superior product than what I've got, and it'll be it'll be a game changer and a life changer for yourself.
awesome. All right, Jack, lovely. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for showing us your
You're
software,
welcome.
and I look forward to seeing where you go with it all.